The Supercars season is upon us, guys. This weekend is the Adelaide 500 where the 2018 season begins. I'm excited as always and I can't wait for Friday because the off season seems so long. This year is a 16 round championship with the addition of finally going to the Australian Grand Prix for the championship points and the new Tailem Bend circuit in South Australia. Finally, we've got more rounds this year with the new night race at Sydney Motorsport Park. I can't wait for the season, guys, as I'll be previewing and reviewing the championship rounds where I can, so if you'd like to see future content, follow this channel for more videos. But let's just recap quickly last year's championship, where it was dramatically decided on the last race. McLaughlin, the championship leader, going into the final race only needed to finish 11th to be champion. Gets a penalty not once but 3 times in the race. He got the controversial speeding penalty in pit lane, which many people, including DJR Team Penske, didn't believe. McLaughlin drives back through the field, spins Simona Di Silvestro around, gets another drive-through penalty, drives his way back into 12th position, where he needed to finish 11th to win the championship. Jamie Whincup was leading, so he was doing all he could to win the championship. McLaughlin passes Moffat on lap 93 of 95 to get into 11th, but Lowndes gets through, who was on fresher tyres at the time. Then McLaughlin makes a bad mistake at turn 1, Lowndes gets alongside, and you know the rest of the story. McLaughlin finishes 11th but gets a post-race penalty that demotes him down the order, and Whincup's your champion of 2017. You couldn't script this, and that was pretty crazy stuff, so that has to be the most dramatic way to decide a championship title. But it all comes down to Scotty and those 3 penalties where all he had to do was drive a simple race and not get caught up in the incident. But the pressure got to him, and the mistake at turn 1 on lap 94 is effectively what cost him the title. Because if Lowndes didn't hit the wall, he had the track positioned for the next corner, and it would have been hard for McLaughlin to not let him pass, even if he defended well. But that was 2017, now it's time for the brand new season. What will we get in 2018? Who knows, because that's how unpredictable this championship is. Let's take a look at the teams and drivers for 2018. Let's start with the team's champions from 2017, DJR Team Penske. There's no doubt that McLaughlin is favourite for the title in 2018. He dominated qualifying last year with a record 16 pole positions and converted that into 8 wins. If he can back that up again, which I'm sure the car is going to be just as quick, then others have to step up their game, including Fabian Coulthard, where he had a good start to the championship in 2017 and led for a bit but then seemed to drop away midway through the year. He certainly lost his speed against McLaughlin, and with Fabian also being caught up in incidents like in Pukekohe, it didn't help his cause. What Fabian needs to work on is putting together more championship weekends where his bad days are top 10 results if he wants to compete with McLaughlin or be a serious title contender. But certainly DJR Team Penske's will be the team to beat in 2018. Let's move on to RedBull Racing Australia. For the first time since 2009, RedBull lost the team's championship, so they will not be leading the field out in 2018. Whincup, the 7-time champion, defending his title with his teammate in Shane Van Gisbergen. SVG had a different year in 2017 compared to his championship winning year in 2016. His form wasn't the same. He certainly made more errors, and his qualifying wasn't there either. He just lacked a little bit extra for poles or front rows. There's no doubt he can race well, just needs to find that extra speed in qualifying and make less errors like the one at Bathurst when he was leading the field under the safety car and went off at the last corner. Whincup, well, what can you say really? 7 titles, he knows what he's doing, he's just so consistent every weekend. If it's not race wins, it's podiums, top 5s or top 10s, you barely see an error of his own. And that's why he's a good champion. Let's see how quickly these guys get up to speed with the new ZB Commodore, and the rivalry between DJR Team Penske continues. Next we have Autobarn Racing of Craig Lowndes and Tekno Autosport of Jack LeBrock. Lowndes struggled with the new tyre in 2017, he couldn't adjust to it and that let him down in qualifying, where he was qualifying outside the top 10. He still raced alright, but it's always hard to win races and podiums when you're down the order. So if Lowndes can get his qualifying sorted and his speed back, he'll be a contender for sure. It's going to be a learning curve for Luke Brock. He's been in the Super 2 series for a couple of years now, and he did an alright job in the Enduros, so it shouldn't be a big problem getting up to speed. Their results will be on how quickly he learns the racing side of it, because I think he'll have the equipment to do it, and they have Adrian Burgess, so I think Jack will be interesting to watch. So previously known as ProDrive Racing Australia, now known as Tickford Racing, they have also decided to change its lineup, with Chaz Mossett returning in the same garage as Mark Winterbottom. Chaz was the standout driver in the stable last year, so he'll be looking to improve on that and be another championship contender for the title. He was there or thereabouts in the championship last year, but his team struggled for pace at some rounds, and that leaked the points to their rivals. Winterbottom needs to find his form from 2015. He struggled a bit with the new tyre in 2017 and lacked pace at times against Chaz, but I'm sure with the strong stable in Tickford Racing, he'll lift his game and they can take it to RedBull and DJR instead of playing the third wheel in the championship. The other two cars of Tickford Racing is the young gun outfit of Cam Waters and Richie Stanaway. Stanaway coming from GP2, where he stayed for a couple of seasons and did some sports car racing, competed in the Enduros for the last 2 years, where he was the standout rookie in the Enduros. Now he gets a crack at the main game in Tickford Racing. It will be interesting to see with his international racing how he fares in the Supercars Championship. I think his issue will be acclimatizing himself to the tracks where he hasn't raced on before and qualifying, but there's no doubt he has the ability to race. Waters is another young gun to watch out for. Last year was an improvement to his rookie season in 2016, so now he just needs to grab results on a more consistent basis of top 10s and top 5s, and he can certainly add the pressure to the rival teams. Next up we have Garry Rogers Motorsport. GRM was the team that punched well above its weight in 2017. After building brand new Commodores in 2017 after Volvo pulled the pin unexpectedly in the 2016 season, with years behind in development, GRM managed to finish 4th in their Team's Constructors Championship behind the big teams. Now in 2018, on a more even playing field to the other Holden teams, with the equality driver in Garth Tander and the new rookie in James Golding, these guys can be a dark horse in races, but it comes down to their qualifying ability if they want to be race winners. Tander has struggled at times in qualifying since Car of the Future, so he needs to pick up his qualifying form if he wants to return to being a championship contender. He can outrace the midfield any day of the week, so he still has the ability to race at the front of the field. He just needs to pick up his qualifying game. Golding just has to learn off Garth Tander and the team as quick as he can, and just put together race weekends at the beginning of the year to build confidence. That's what he needs to do at the start, then he'll find his feet during the year. Now let's have a look at Erebus Motorsport. Erebus were another team that punched well above its weight in 2017. David Reynolds winning the Bathurst 1000 with Luke Yielden, and also getting podiums and top 10 results during the year. With the confidence they'll bring in 2018, I think they can compete with the top teams on their good day if they can get the car to their liking. Reynolds teams up with Anton De Pasquale, where he did Super 2. I haven't seen much of Anton yet to predict how he'll go, but he'll need to do the same as Golding and just put together a weekend at the first few rounds where it's about finishing races and building the confidence and helping develop the new car. But Reynolds can be a surprise package for sure in 2018 this year. Now we have Nissan Motorsport. It's a big year for Nissan Motorsport with it being the last year of the Nissan deal. They really need a massive leap from its previous years and to prove to Nissan that they are capable of winning races and potentially a championship. But I don't think they can do it, to be honest. The Nissan lacks straight line performance against the Holden and Ford, and the Nissan seems to be a hit and miss at certain tracks. I think Nissan won't re-sign unless they choose a different model of car to race against, because the current Altima has stopped production. So it'll be interesting if Nissan recommits based on performance of the team, or they even choose to go to a different team in DJR or Walkinshaw Andretti United, or even quit the sport in general. But the lineup of Nissan is Rick Kelly, who you can say is the lead driver of the team with Caruso. These guys have to stand up if they want results for the team because they've been in Nissan since its arrival, so they know they just have to get results in an important year for the team. The other stable of the Nissans, Simona Di Silvestro in her second year. She did okay in her first year, I thought. I mean, she had to learn the car and every track besides Bathurst in her rookie season. It'll be interesting to see how she goes in 2018. Andre Heimgartner gets a second chance in the main game after he got dumped from Super Black Racing. He has potential as we saw in the rain at the Gold Coast, so hopefully he can show what he is capable of in 2018. Walkinshaw has teamed up with Andretti United and Zach Brown's United Autosports to make Walkinshaw Andretti United, but will now be named Mobile One Boost Mobile Racing. What a name for a race team. Anyway, these guys definitely had a disappointing year in 2017. It was probably their worst year out of all since they've lacked form since 2011. Courtney, being the lead driver of the team, needs to stand up, not just for Adelaide or street circuits, but for most of the season. They need more top 10s and podiums to lift the confidence in the team. Scott Pye now needs to put a season together now that he's been in the same team for his second year, and build and develop the ZB Commodore to return Walkinshaw to a good team as they once were. Next up is Brad Jones Racing. BJR definitely had an inconsistent year in 2017, so if they can get more of a consistent package, then they can also punch above their weight in 2018. Nick Percat and Slade are good drivers, but they seem to make little errors that cost good results at times, so if they can qualify better and race better, then we'll see the results. They have a good team and they know how to put together a car. They just need to be more consistent in 2018. Blanchard needs to lift as well. He has been lacking performance and I don't know why at times he can't match his other BJR teammates. But if he can't perform this year, then he has to go, unfortunately. Now the single car teams. Preston Racing. These guys are also inconsistent at times as well. It's hard being a single car team to perform just as good as the other teams with more resources, but if they can be there and grab results, it will be really good for the team going forward to get more sponsors, to expand the team to 2 cars so Lee has someone to work with and develop the car going forward. But for 2018, if they can be more towards the first half of the field more often, then that will be good results for the team. It also seems to me that they get involved in a lot of crashes, so hopefully luck has changed for Preston Racing. 23 Red Racing. Formerly known as Lucas Dumbrell Motorsport, 23 Red Racing has changed manufacturer from Holden to Ford in 2018. Will Davison has joined from Tekno, and I think these guys will be a surprise. Maybe not straight away as they find what works for them, but a few rounds in they can certainly be mid-pack runners, and I believe Davison will suit the Ford better and he is capable to drag the car to a good result, so I think these guys can be a surprise package if they can get it right. The last entry for 2018 is Matt Stone Racing, where they have the 2017 Super 2 champion Todd Hazelwood as their driver. Graduating to the main game using an ex-DJR Team Penske Ford, these guys can deliver a good result. If Todd can qualify in the first half of the field and race with the more experienced racers, then he can learn and become a great driver. It'll be interesting to see how a Super 2 team can go to stepping up into the main game, and we'll have to wait and see how they progress. Holden has a new model this year. The new ZB rebadged Commodore has had a few issues already, with the front splitter flexing too much and the splitter becoming a fault in testing. The Holden teams have seemed to come up with a solution, but in terms of looks of the new ZB, it's definitely not as good looking as the VF or the VE or any other Commodore. But at least we still have a Holden in the sport, even though the road car is not really a Holden Commodore. The rear wing is really massive, and I mean, the Nissan had a huge rear wing, but the Holden has seemed to take it to the next level. It'll be interesting to see how quickly Triple Eight or any other Holden teams get up to speed with the new Aero package, and whether or not they can be quick out of the box, or will it take a few rounds to learn to get up to speed. So the things to watch out for in 2018. Will McLaughlin keep his hot form in 2017 and be the man to beat? Can the Holden teams find the speed with the new ZB Commodore, or will the Ford come out firing and get an early lead in the championship? Can Tickford Racing take it to DJR Team Penske in Triple Eight 2018 and mix for the championship? Will Nissan and Walkinshaw lift in form and start producing the results they need to for the team? My prediction for the Adelaide 500 is that Scotty and Chaz will get the poles and the Fords will dominate Adelaide only because the Holden teams have to figure out their new aero package on one of the hardest tracks of the year, the Adelaide 500. It's certainly hard to pick a winner. That's my preview of the 2018 season. My name is Crash Catters. Make sure you like and subscribe as I'll be doing previews and reviews of every championship round that I can, as well as F1. So if you want to see more, then subscribe for that. Thanks for watching guys, and see you for the Adelaide 500 review.